They're there to find Michael from New York that keeps calling me.
Sean, I've told you not to do the accent.
I'm pretty good at it, though. I think I'm pretty good. Okay, whoever thought 1980s music would be appropriate right now? Welcome to the nightmare. What's going on?
I say people have been inspired by the group Doge and are creating state-wise Doge.
It is. So here's the funny thing. In Oklahoma, everybody's suffering all this crazy stuff all over the nation. We've been doing this here for quite a while. And for 7 years, Republicans have been in control of the House, the Senate, and the governorship. So Doge away. I mean, it's all your shit. Here's the thing. You as a business owner, me as a business owner, undoubtedly, government efficiency is necessary.
Yeah.
But nothing they're doing is for government efficiency. This is just all retribution, retaliation. And then, look, I don't know when we move beyond this. I mean, as soon as Elon Musk's cars quit selling as much, which is already happening, that's the only way to get this guy to back off.
Yeah. I mean, I think, did you see like someone went and defaced like a couple of hundred Tesla Cybertrucks?
I mean, aren't they defaced to start with? Single ugliest vehicle I've ever seen in my entire life. It just screams my wiener small. I mean, it just screams.
I love like they do like these TikTok videos about like raccoon paws on the backs of Tesla trucks because raccoons keep mistaking them for dumpsters.
Oh.
And also there's like this entire channel, Sean, where this guy is about to throw trash and all of a sudden someone gets out and he realizes it wasn't a dumpster. It was a Tesla Cybertruck.
And it wasn't a homeless person living there. Look, the Doge thing, state to state, is fine. I mean, I got to be honest with you. I mean, the southern states, there's like 7 of them that pretty much are all red. Oh, Doge away. I mean, honestly, but so just to own restaurant with a liquor license, Kathy had this deal that she did on one of the local newscasts. There's 30 licenses here, 30, and whoever does the online portals here in Oklahoma literally should have to give a refund to whatever school taught them how to do stuff because the websites are shit. You can't get through them. You can't understand them. And then you go down to talk to indignant employees. They make it very easy for you to dislike them.
Yeah.
But here's my 2 things. The Oklahoma Secretary of State, shockingly efficient. Like that office works. And anybody I've dealt with outside of being audited have been decent there. But federal wise, I get letters every week answering a question from 2 years ago.
No, yeah.
And then we have to start all over again. I mean, the thing is they're not necessarily wrong. And if you went about it at the slow pace, there would be such public fights, you could never get anything done. But just going in and firing people, you can do that in the private sector. In the public sector, those are the people with the banks of knowledge of how shit works.
Yeah.
Computers don't run the federal government. Like a lady with a 2-gallon cup of soda runs the federal government. And so we got to keep that in mind, or a man, keep that in mind. Hey, how'd you like the pictures from the rally on Monday? Pretty nice, huh?
Oh, yeah. That's a lot of people. What do you want to tell people the rally you're talking about?
Okay, so on Monday, we basically, from my group, it was an anti-fascism rally. Not that this is a fascist state yet, but we are definitely moving towards it. And just to show people what it is, and then bills that are going through the Oklahoma House and Senate. But there were basically 5 different groups that came together, which is called a coalition, which is in politics the only way you win, and put this on. And then I was the MC, and I would like to point out 30 different speakers, only 10 minutes behind at the end of the show.
Oh, that's not bad at all.
Right. And we started 15 minutes late. They did it at 9 a.m. And you know what I would tell you, for people that get up at the crack of noon, a 9 a.m. rally is probably not the thing to do. But
John, some of
Yeah.
us work through that goddamn night, okay? We can't make it at
Right. Well,
night.
you and I can make it to anything, anytime because we don't sleep. So what I would, there's a lot of anxiety here, which is weird because this was probably a 65 or 70% Trump vote.
Mhm.
And there's shocking anxiety. I don't know why. They voted for him. I mean, why is there anxiety?
Yeah. It's weird, right? Like even the ones who voted for him and they were like telling me that I need to get back quickly. Now they're like, do you mind just taking your time? Because we're not sure if you're safe with all the idiocy that you're up to here.
Right. Yeah. Well, what I will tell you is Twitter is a space that nobody wants to be in anymore. It's literally just trolls, which I think it was always just trolls, but
Yeah.
more so now. And look, that Monday rally, because of the turnout and because of the news coverage, and we did it while our governor was giving his state of the state speech. We stole the media for the day, and we stole social media for days.
Mhm.
So, but no blowback. I mean, all these politicians came and spoke at it, which originally they hadn't agreed to do. Some of them did, but other ones came down to speak because there was an audience, and it was a big audience. And look, what I would tell anybody is we're having this 50-50 thing across America today, which is 50 rallies in 50 states at the state capitol. As far as I can tell, it's an unlicensed event. I think we're being trolled. So instead of having people go to my event, or our event, wasn't my event, our event, we were like, oh, well, I can go Wednesday. It's easier. And I'm like, nobody knows who these people are. Don't just show up, because if it's unpermitted, you can get arrested.
No. Wow.
You have to have a permit. Look, it's not hard to do, but you have to have one. But they just tell you to just show up at the Capitol. What's that mean?
Like
Right.
anybody heard about any of the organizers who are doing this in any state?
No one knows any of them. And if I haven't heard of who it is, I've got a pretty broad ear here. So I just tell people to be careful. I mean, it's going to be shitty weather, so I don't think anybody will show anyway. But we were effective on Monday. And then Kevin State came out 3 different times to talk to reporters because they weren't getting any traction. Cheers. Cheers, my friend.
I like that the governor is fighting for the limelight. maybe this Doge thing is just him throwing a mini tantrum to get some media coverage.
Well, here's the deal. I mean, DHS here is working off of 20 and 30-year-old computers with 20 and 30-year-old programming.
Mm-hmm. You've been with me to the Department of Homeland Safety in Oklahoma. Remember when we had to get my license?
When we had the cameras on us? Yes, I remember. There's a brown and a white guy coming up right now. Uh-oh. Yeah.
Yeah, those are like ancient computers. Because it would take her like 5 minutes to fill out the form that I filled out on paper in like 2 minutes.
Right. Well, so there is a need. So I don't want to make fun of Doge where it isn't necessary. And God knows the Democrats could have admitted that government's not efficient. So the average person's dealing with government. Remember this, is at the tag agency, death certificates, trying to get a marriage certificate. If you're an internet preacher, you got to deal with them. Most of it's negative. It just is. It's just not positive. And that's the net result of, the DMVs being underfunded. So if you're the governor, fund your DMVs. I mean, make that a pleasant experience, and then people would think government's pleasant. Because nobody knows the inner cogs that make it all grind. They just don't know. I mean, our jail here was trying to keep the health department from inspecting.
Yeah. It's like how we build all the applications people use on the internet, Sean. Nobody knows what's there in the bag.
Right.
We just make sure it's user-friendly when someone clicks into it type thing, right?
Yeah. Can you get through it? We'll see what comes of it. There's so much blowback on everything now. So like they're doing a shock and awe campaign where there's just so many things you can't keep up. So the tariffs are evidently off for a month, but businesses have already sent out notices that you're going to get a 10% increase in your prices. I mean, I don't know this chaos works real well in an alcoholic household, but that's about it.
It is fascinating to see like the tariffs and also, I mean, I think that's the main thing that even the media here is covering because I guess they're speculating what are the other countries that are going to get tariffed if they don't do anything.
So the deal is Mexico agreed to put 10,000 people on the border. Guess what? That's the deal we had with Joe Biden. Canada, same deal. I mean, so with and I don't know if it was a podcast or a book I read on Russian oligarchs. They were all they did was ever bluff. So if you knew going into the business meeting they were going to bluff, call their bluff. Yeah, go ahead. Sorry.
Oh, no, I was just going to tell you that a U.S. military plane with 100 illegal Indians just stopped off in Delhi, I guess, or somewhere near Delhi.
Did you let him finish the programming first? That's the question.
Sean, maybe they were there to fix the shitty systems that we have in government and gone.
Yeah, they're working for Doge. They just found out some of our computers were over there. They're there to find Michael from New York that keeps calling me.
Sean, I've told you not to do the accent.
I'm pretty good at it, though, I think. I think I'm pretty good. Look, I mean, and everyone's like, they're getting all of our information. And you go, India and China have all of our information already. I mean, quit acting like it's private. I love this idea.
Think about it this way, Sean, like the first AOL office that was set up was in Bangalore. And I still know employees from there where they still have to deal with customers who they've dealt with like from like the early 2000s.
Get out. Oh my God, that's hilarious. So now the people that were working there are 40 years old. Is that what you're telling me? Shit. Let's talk about that governor's race before we get out of here, because I know we're probably already at 10 minutes. So I've had a few senators, and then at that event, a whole bunch of people come up and go, "Hey, I heard you're running." And I go, "I have not told anybody I'm running."
This is not speculation from my idiotic self on the podcast.
Right. Yes, look at what you were doing. Well, you don't think that's one of those. If you knew the actual people listening to all of the podcasts and shit that I do, they're paying attention. Just to clarify, I said I would run to knock Ryan Walters out. I don't want the job. I mean, I know I shouldn't admit to that, but I did use part of our script on Monday, and I was like, whatever the interview was, I go, yeah, if I'm going to announce, I'm going to jump out of an airplane and do it. And somebody was like, don't do that. And I go, yeah, I'll show you how to get media attention. I can do it just like everybody. And then I realized, oh my God, this is literally our script.
Yep. I like that you're using the idiocy in our campaign in the show as a real life campaign outline.
Right. And what's sad is everybody thought it was a good idea other than the possibility of the parachute not opening. And I go, that would be even more publicity. I don't know. It's all in the way you look at it.
There are times where, Sean, haven't there been times where people who have died have been still on the ballot and have won?
And win, right. So we had a guy named Carnahan in Missouri, and I don't think his wife came after him and did it, but I have heard of that before here. Yeah. So anyway, so the Ryan Walters thing, but we've got a decent guy running for governor, and I don't want to mess him up. I want to mess the other
people. When Trump announced that he's looking into dismantling the education department.
So what that's all about is Title IX, and so the federal government is about $1 out of every $6. I believe I'm accurate on this. That goes to the state of Oklahoma. We are literally a welfare state. Nobody thinks we are, but we are. And of those dollars go to women's sports, food, nutrition. A whole bunch of it goes to food and nutrition. We're 1 in 5 Oklahoma kids doesn't know where their next meal is coming from. And then, so the federal money really does matter because it goes to poor schools. And these folks that are now in charge don't want to educate the poor because they want them to do menial jobs if they don't know how to do anything else. I mean, I'm sorry, your system isn't that much different over there. You were just lucky to be on the top 5%. I mean, let's be honest. I don't really know where they're going with all of it. They're doing all the things to get everybody to turn on the immigrants, which that's easy to do. And then eventually they don't want to educate the immigrants' kids. And I don't think anybody's really thought through the crime wave that you're creating in 15 years, because everybody's got to make money.
Mm-hmm.
And if you only give them one way to make money, they're going to go make money. And the smarter kids are going to move to the top, just like every business. And some kids you could have educated, gotten some tax money, or just end up running a cartel. And then we've got way bigger problems. Like this whole bullshit about fentanyl and everything else. Look, the labs that Americans moved over to China during the day made the drugs they were supposed to make for America. And then at night they were making fentanyl. It's totally on us. Like, they didn't know how to make it before that. And then Americans are the ones smuggling it in. People that used to smuggle fentanyl would just send it with drug shipments.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, they're not hiding this from anybody. Mexico's not fentanyl. They were mediocre weed and transferring blow from Colombia and Peru and Bolivia. I mean, they were just middlemen originally.
Well, I
Well,
like
we got
that
off on a
Canada got
tangent.
stuck because of their 43 grams that came, 43 pounds or something that came through the Canadian border.
Right. And we're going to we're going to charge you a tariff for that. Harold Hamm, who is a big contributor to Donald Trump, that's where his oil sands are, in Canada.
No.
That's the reason that shit got frozen. Harold was like, I gave you money and got you in, bitch. Yeah. I can't even imagine what it feels like to be in your position watching this. But you know what it tells is you guys have had switches in government and everything else. And one way or another, you finish up. I was in Argentina. They used to have a dictator less than 20 years ago. And Chile next to them had a dictator. And then we'll get through it more than likely.
Yeah. Most countries, knock on wood, do kind of come on, like they change for the better when things like this happen.
We hope, but the getting the reins back are the issue. So we have a mutual friend that works for the federal government, and that friend's gotten 3 different letters for the early payout, wanting her to resign, all this other kind of stuff. Yeah, and the Doge people came in, set up servers, locked in a room, hooked up to all their computers, and we have no background checks or anything on any of these folks. Yeah,
some of them, I just saw something that they were like out of college. Some of them were like interning with X, and now they have
they're probably working for free. Yeah, probably working for free.
Oh, wow. Oh, there's Sean.
But you know as well as me, if you were a kid that age, you go, I have everybody's info because I know somebody that wants to buy this.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know where all that goes, and I don't want to create false speculation. But look, I watched an interview with a guy, and he said people that make less than $50,000 a year got a decent amount of money during COVID to keep their families alive, and then after COVID ended, that money went away, and so they were looking for change because it wasn't working for them. And you go, and they got in the exact regime that won't give them any change, but they don't know any better. I mean, 49th in education here. So that's my drawback on the governor thing is for 10,000 people, it would be entertaining. The rest are unaware anyway. So I'm not sure what would be the goal to accomplish other than mayhem, which I'm good at. I can do mayhem.
See, the problem that I think that you would go up against is the same problem that there is an old episode of Seinfeld where they're trying to write a script and they're discussing about the script, and George Costanza screams out and he says, it's a smart line. Smart people would get it.
Yeah.
I'm not dumbing it down to entertain this boneheaded mass audience, and everybody in the restaurant turns and looks at him. And that would be your campaign.
Right.
For the sole reason that if the larger majority of the population is not with a college degree or whatever, most of your points are going to go over their head, and it's not going to make sense. It's just going to be gibberish.
So here it's less than 30% of the population are college graduates. I don't want to say they didn't get any college or do community college or anything else. Might even be as low as 20%. Okay. So your point is on point, for lack of a better word. So yeah, I mean, subtlety, British style humor jokes, which all of our friends would get, just will miss.
See,
And,
yesterday I had like this amazing audience member who he was messing with me the entire time and kind of set me up for weird jokes because I was talking about global warming, okay? And I was just telling the audience we need to unite against this common enemy. And he screams out, foreigners. And I looked at him and I was like, I know you did that on purpose. I saw you getting up in your chair.
That's awesome.
See, it's only going to be 1 out of 50 people who would be like that. That is your thing of finding those people.
Right. And then I'm popular with that group. But what's that do for the 2 years I wasted trying to talk to the other folks? And so I don't know. There may or may not be an outlet there, but we'll see. What I tell everybody is, look, we've got races coming up right now where white Christian nationalists are running, and they have really cute outdoor signs.
I like that there are races for racists.
Right. Yeah. And clean races now are starting to be like lesbians. You got like 10 different kinds, from lipstick lesbians to truck driver down, not cutting anybody down. There's a whole bunch of different types of people and everything. But yeah, even the racist, white supremacist stuff, they got their thing. They probably have their own dating website.
Oh yeah.
I mean,
nice.
And if they don't, you might want to create that. There's a bunch of them.
Wouldn't it be ironic, Sean, if we create a website where all the white nationalists can meet and hook up, and it's built by me?
Right. That would be irony in its deepest. Yeah, we'll just keep an eye on this stuff. I don't think it's as dire as some people think it is, but I'm also not surprised. And you and I have been talking about this in real time from day one of our first show. So
yeah,
we got everybody. I know. Crazy town, bro. It's crazy town. What else you want to cover? We got a little bit of time, I think.
We're over 20. We're actually good, but then
shit.
By the way, yesterday the thing I was complaining to you about, I was up till like 4 a.m. dealing with a client call.
Yeah.
And these are they all have access to the same internet that I use. It's not like I have a special version of it where someone's giving me more information. And I got so pissed off with this call, Sean. I was like, dude, you guys have access to the same things that I do. I don't know how y'all are not aware of this.
Do the Googles.
And then I just realized I started sounding like our dad type thing, where I just sounded like an immigrant father screaming on that call at these kids who went reading.
Right.
I was like, right, maybe it's just me.
Literally, instead of going and asking somebody, you really can look something up, and it's easy to cross-check. Yeah. Jesus.
And that shitty response of, I don't know, man. I'm like, well, we all started this call without we knowing, man. Some of us fucking read.
I saw an interesting deal, and I wish I could remember which company it was. When they do board meetings, they have an hour for everybody to read through the agenda. Because they know for board meetings, nobody read through the agendas. You just go in and vote on shit. At State Board of Education, I'm like, how many of you have read this? And it's always one person. One.
Like that one person who reads the terms and conditions on our phones update. That guy showed up.
That fucker. Right. All right, my man. I wish you the best. Tell your mom and sister I said hi. I hope you have a good day. It's cold and rainy down here. 84 degrees on Monday. Best day for a rally I've ever seen. And then Tuesday, 32 and shitty and rainy.
Oh, wow. I honestly, there was an article I was reading in The Guardian where temperatures in the North Pole are 20 degrees Celsius above normal.
Jesus.
Yeah.
So 60 degrees above normal, or almost 60? 50 degrees?
Technically, the North Pole is above the freezing point.
Jesus. Wow. That's loco, baby. I don't know. We got 4 more years of not doing anything about it at this point.
I know.
All right, man. You have a good day. All right, buddy. I'll see ya.